Low Moon Adventures. It's deadly, it's role-playing, and yet, let's roll.
Once last we broke, the pages were staying at the Royal Retreat, which is always busy and active during the day, and they actually had some movement in the way of career advancement in last session. So in the last session, Selena was told or given the opportunity to work toward becoming the lead page in charge of in the area of falconry. And so you met with the lead page currently, and he basically said that he has the opportunity, he would like to go and become a squire, and so he would train you to be the lead page in the area of falconry. And you had agreed at that time. And so you were to finish out your schedule for that day, and the next morning report to him for falconry duty. And you would do that 2 sessions a day going forward, and then your third day would still be a normal serving as a caliphate page, unless you were called for something specific. Now Dan had actually been approached by a young knight, errant, to be a squire. And you're supposed to begin showing up, I believe it was the next morning as well,
I thought it was the day after English.
Anyway, to begin training as a squire. I'm looking it up. Hold on a second. All right, we have thus clarified that this evening we have yet to do the after-dinner shift and then recreation, because they both Dan, Selena, and Rosie all are not free from their recreation punishment. So both of you will have a shift for recreation, but Selena will be in the falconry for her evening shift, and Dan will be at his door for the evening shift. And then in the morning, all 3 of Selena's shifts will be in the falconry. Morning and afternoon will be Dan's shifts will be training to be a knight or a squire, and which they do tasks as well. And then in the evening shift, you'll be back at your door, and then starting tomorrow night, you'll both have recreation again. You should find some way to get yourself into and out of trouble, possibly. Okay, so that has been clarified. Don't forget to check out our podcast, in which you can listen to last time's episode where they actually met with their potential trainers and so on, and found out about these possibilities. All right. That being said, it is the evening shift. That's where you're at. Okay, which both of you are. You're actually going to the falconry for this shift, and he is at his door. So at the falconry, basically you're just cleaning out the coops and tending the animals, making sure that they're fed and so on. You will gain 1 experience point. So you can mark that down. And then also you will gain 1 hour in animal handling, which is like training animals and stuff. Okay, and then
all I know is we get 1 hour.
You work alongside Joel, the falconer, and he seems rather pleasant, friendly,
Nice.
and he seems kind of grateful that you're being trained to be the senior page, because then he can theoretically move on to do what he really wants to do. That's what he acts anyway. And he does tell you a little about his family. He has a big family, many cousins. There's like 24 cousins total, spread out all over the country, and several work here in Southern Miss Cove, and a couple arms of the family in Southern Miss Cove, and some in the capital. Okay. That was it. 1 hour.
Just animal hand?
Yes.
Okay.
And you got 1 experience point if you didn't already write that down. Okay. And meanwhile, Dan is at his door. Okay. And a while into the hour, 3, 5, 3, 4, okay. All right. You are asked to help set up seating for a meeting that's supposed to take place. So you've got to bring a bunch of the plush chairs from the main hall into another room and line them up all facing the front where a speaker will be speaking, and they're cushioned chairs, bronze, and they set up some banners on the walls and that kind of stuff. Now, while you're doing that, you get a little bit of an opportunity to see how the retreat works as far as the command structure goes, and some of the knights and who are in what knightly division and so on. And so first you get 1 experience point, and you also get 1 hour in training in bureaucracy. So you can put that down on your training list. You've got 1 hour in training in bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is basically like knowing how organizations work, basically. Okay. After that time, the two of you are supposed to go to recreation, but you're still grounded from recreation, so you both go back to your doors to theoretically work. And Dan is assigned to the infirmary. And so you're working in the infirmary, sweeping out under all the tables. Yep, you're pretty familiar with the layout. Anyway, you're sweeping out all the tables, and you move the desks and sweep under the desks, and then you do chase down a mouse that's been plaguing the ladies and kill him with a broom handle, and then dispose of him, and like that.
Does you see any of the ladies that you saw before?
I have 5,861.
Okay, and you get 2 experience.
Okay, make that 165,600.
And you get 1 hour of training in healing.
Hey, I can just put that with my healing.
You already have healing proficiency?
I have healing as a non-weapon.
You have healing as a non-weapon? You actually have it, or you have hours toward it?
I have healing. It's one of the ones I picked.
Okay.
It's on a different piece of paper, though. Oh, not bad. I'm grabbing it.
Okay. So if that's the case, then you would have 1 hour towards the next level of healing is how that works.
Yeah, because I have healing on here, because this is all the numbers. Say it's big. I have healing, it's right here. It's
Healing plus 1 hour.
right there, it's healing. This is all the ones I could pick when I circled the one. Healing. Because I can't find it on here. I didn't write it on here yet. I wrote the other ones. It's apparently not healing.
Okay. Yep. So you have an extra hour of training toward the next level of healing.
Oh, wait. Healing's right here.
Okay. So you just put plus 1 hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Plus 1.
After which time you are tired because it has been a 16-hour workday, and you're headed back to your room.
Go
Get some
back.
rest. In the morning, you have to get up early, like before the sun. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, Selena is called to do dishes.
Again.
Not your favorite thing in the world to do. All right.
What about Rosie?
Now, interestingly enough, you've not been tracking her. You don't know what she's doing. If she was here, we'd be hearing about what she's up to. But since she's not, her player is not here, we don't get to know unless you happen to run into her. And she did not wind up doing dishes, I don't think. If you work to get that one out. Okay. So anyway, you do dishes, and it's a shortened period of time because it's during your recreation time, which is normally only 2 hours, and you're pretty tired. So your hands are kind of pruny and whatever, and then they're draining the big vats, dumping them down this drain that's in the floor, and then all the pages kind of just, you're the only one that's there because none of them are working. They're all on recreation. And but there are a couple of squires that are helping dump the vats and stuff. And you see one boy, his name is Wieland, and you've seen him around before, and he does kind of like occasionally glance over his shoulder in your direction and stuff, and you think maybe it's because you're he finds you interesting or whatever. But then all of a sudden they're all done and they're gone, and you're in the laundry, you're in the kitchen by yourself, and there's nobody cooking, nothing. And this is their period of time to be off because they start really early to make breakfast for the entire retreat. So during this 6 hours or so, there's nobody here, and the room is dark, and there's like one candle burning. But when you look the other way, you're like on information, and you can see into the nooks and crannies and stuff. And you see a rat all the way across the room crawling along the wall on information, mind you. And then, when you've been moving around from your various areas, have you been taking your staff with you, or are you leaving it in your room?
I've been taking it with me.
Okay. So you go back over where your staff is at, and you're getting ready to pick it up and then head back to your room because you're tired and ready to go bed or whatever. Roll a d6 even odd. Tell me if it's even or odd.
It's not beginning into a fight.
It's a rat, probably. 2.
Okay. So as you cross, they have these big long tables, right? And usually they'll have like cook servants standing on both sides of them preparing food all the way up and down every side. There's no conveyor belts here. There's no machines or anything. They do everything by hand, right? And there's pots and kettles and everything that are hanging over the top. And you walk around the big table to go to where you see your staff is leaning up against the big table. And there's enough light there that you're on normal vision. And a young man, older boy, steps in between you and your staff. Now, he's probably 14, 15 years old. And then right away you hear an additional set of footsteps coming up behind you. And all of a sudden your senses are kind of like on edge. Mm-hmm. And so you can roll for surprise, first of all. So roll a d6. You're considered alone, which means you're only surprised on a 1.
2.
Okay, so you're not surprised.
Oh, that's good.
I got 2 the second time.
And you realize as your kind of like combat senses kick in that there are actually 3 of them.
Oh,
total.
How?
Someone break into the thing or something?
What do you mean, how?
How do my combat senses work?
Just run.
It just means you're alert. You fought before. This is not your first time in a fight.
Yeah.
We fought in a bar fight. Oh, I did it. You did it. Kind of.
That's when I first discovered my power.
You're not there, so hush. Okay. All right. Okay. So they are unarmed. Okay, as far as you can tell, anyway. And you see the boy who had stepped in between you and the staff. He picks up the staff and he says, "You want this?" And then he throws it behind him on the floor, and it skitters along the floor. And he says,
Barrel has some good things for this, I can tell you that.
yeah. Well, you also...
Entangle.
Entangle will not work in the kitchen.
That won't work.
It
There's
works
no
on
vines.
plants. Okay? But anyway, you also know that if you use magic against them, you could get in trouble, regardless of whether they are causing the problem or not. So take that into account. Wisdom warns you, if you will, that if you kill one of them using magic, for example, you could be in big trouble. Especially because they appear to be unarmed. So in any case, the boy that's back and to your left says, "Better get this over with before somebody comes in." And the boy that's in front.
Stone? She has stone to
Okay.
I can't kill him using that.
No, that's true. All right. Anyway, the
You
boy
will, bye-bye now.
in front of you says, "Being a pretty elf and stealing jobs from locals was always going to get you in trouble." And he steps in, at which point you can roll initiative.
5. That's pretty good.
Okay. So there are 3 of them, and they're all moving. But we're in missile fire first. So in missile fire, you can use your spells if you choose to. Bear in mind that the floor is stone in here, but it is like bricks and mortar. It's not stone like a wall.
Can I go through it then?
Never tried. You don't know what will happen.
What about the walls?
The walls are stone, brick mostly. Some are just carved stone, and some are brick with mortar.
I don't know. What if it like bounces me back? Can you do that?
It could fail if it's not natural enough stone. It could bounce you back if it's not natural enough. It could send you somewhere more unexpected.
Like in the kitchen sink?
For example, yes.
You get stuck in the kitchen sink.
Okay. Anyway, so all you need to decide is they don't have any missile fire, and so all you need to decide is whether or not you intend to do anything in this.
If you don't want to miss any of the story, Lone Moon Origins, Uprising, or Outsiders, like and follow our podcast. Please share it with friends.
Do I have anything I can do with the
You have your stone drift.
I have a sling.
Let me see what other spells you have. Your sling is definitely not ready, so you can use it in missile fire.
Can I do stone drift and missile fire?
Which mark is it? Squares.
Square.
Okay. Intangible. Predict weather. Electric shield. Minor heal. None of those work. Obscurement. You can do obscurement.
What is that again?
It makes it foggy in this area. It makes your armor class 2 better.
I can do that.
It doesn't make their armor class better, only yours. So poison, no. Stone drift is a possibility if you thought it would work. You've never tried it on a work stone sword. You're thinking now, should have tried it in the last few days and seen if anything would have happened. Of course, it could hurt you. There's a possibility it could hurt you if it's made of the wrong kind of floor. So, anyway, so obscurement is the only one that really makes sense.
I'm using steel now.
Okay. And so you trigger the spell. It basically leaps forward in your mind, and you release it. Okay. And there is a bit of a musical note and a crackling of energy that goes off in the room. And the room fills with fog, and it's literally everywhere, but it's not complete anywhere. But then you notice that it's kind of swirling around you and more actively blocking the view of you. Then we go to melee initiative. So we go to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, so you're in 5. So one boy is also going in 5. It's the one in front of you. And the other 2 boys are slower. So what do you want to do? You are completely capable of fighting. Like you can punch or kick without using weapons. That is possible. And the truth is, considering your experience, you might expect yourself to be more than damage.
Why?
Because even though they're physical, they're pages, and so they don't have a lot of experience, and you've had some pretty fantastic adventures already, so you would probably expect that unless things go poorly, you could probably take all 3 of them open-handed. The only downside is they are heavier, stronger, that kind of thing, but you're almost certainly more skilled than they are.
But I can't see them in the fog.
No, you can see them perfectly. The fog does not affect you.
It only affects them?
Correct.
So they can't see me, but I can see them.
I mean, they can see you, just not as well as normal. It gives you a bonus of 2 to your armor class. Your AC is 2 better than normal.
Cool.
Which usually equates to about a 10% more chance that they'll miss. Anyway, bottom line is, do you want to try to... basically, if you're going to attack him without weapons, there are 3 categories. One is pummeling, and that means you might be kicking him, punching him, elbowing him, whatever you can bring to bear. One is grappling, which basically is like wrestling. So you grab onto him and try to get him in a headlock or get his arms pinned back or something like that. And then one is overbearing. In overbearing, you basically try to tackle him and take him to the ground, slam him down, that kind of thing. The last one is the least likely to work for you because overbearing is a lot based on weight. He's probably big enough that if you jump on him, he can hold you. So you're more likely to want to punch, kick, or grapple.
I'll punch.
Okay. All right. So the way punching non-armed combat works is with 2 series.
I do have the brown, what are they called? I don't have fancy armor, but I have
Bracers.
bracers, yeah.
Okay. So what kind of bracers do you have?
Leather, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, do you know what their armor class is or anything?
It says bracers here.
Does it say AC something?
Adjusted AC. Supplies 6.
Okay. Which you're not surprised right now, so it's a little better than that. No, it isn't, because your dex is... your dex is 16, so it is better. So... yeah, so your current AC is 4. And then the fog makes it up 2, which is... but that affects their ability to hit you open-handed, but that's really mostly to do with weaponry. But it does make it harder for them to hit you. Okay? So anyway, and you're going first. So you step forward to basically try to strike this guy before his companions behind you can grab you. If they can grab you, then if he tries to hit you, it'll be harder for you to defend yourself. Okay? And so you need to roll percentile dice, and you want to roll as high a number as you can.
So this one, 6.
Percentile dice. The 2 d10s in a row. One's the 10s and one's the 1s.
These 2. No, it's not right. These 2.
So he's taller
81.
than you and heavier than you.
81.
Oh, that's a good roll. Okay. Okay. All right. So you step up, and he's coming forward to try to punch you, and you hear them moving behind, maybe to try to grab you. And before he can punch you, you punch him, and it is a solid punch. Like you hit him, it hits like in his neck, just below his chin, and then it hits him on the chin. And so it does 8 points of damage plus your strength bonus, which I don't think you have one. No. All right. So
I want my staff though.
Well, if you had your staff, you'd be killing them. This doesn't kill them. So that's the good news. Okay? So anyway, so that does 8 points of damage with 2 points being real. And you get a free strike again. So you can roll again.
Yay! Hi. 60.
60 flat. Okay. All right. And so you... he like bends over, twists to the side slightly as he was trying to dodge from your first blow, and you grab him under his arm and on his bicep and slam his head into the counter. It doesn't land very solidly because there's a pan there that scoots out of the way when his head comes down, but it is another strike. He obviously did get hit again, and that was a glancing blow, and you can strike again.
I don't want to kill anyone.
You're not going to kill him.
Can I strike the one behind him?
Not in this series. If you stop here, you'd have to wait to your second series. This is your series on the first guy.
Get 26.
Okay.
Not as high.
All right. And so then he comes back and he starts to spin away from the counter, basically after you hit his on the counter, and you put your hand up under his shoulder blade and shove him over, and he goes over on the floor. When he goes over on the floor, you kind of stumble forward a little bit and lose balance, and so that ends your first series. But you don't think he's going to get back up. You think he's probably unconscious because you hit him on the jaw.
Am I on the ground?
No, you're standing up. You just lost, like you stepped forward awkwardly. Okay? The 2 guys behind you
I'm going to try to kill.
are going to try to get you. Okay, so they both get there first.
But why does I want to do this?
Apparently he's mad because you're being promoted to senior page, and he said he thinks it's only because you're a pretty girl and an elf. And so they're punishing you for stealing his job, basically. That's what he said. Gotta pay attention to nuances.
Okay. I mean, you could say if you're not sure that's the reason, you could say, "Why are you doing this?" in character, but you're just assuming at this point because of what he said, which was, "You can't come around here and be a pretty girl and an elf and steal our jobs. It was always going to get you in trouble." That's what he said. Okay. So one guy from behind you, the guy that was back.
What happens if somebody walks in the room like an adult?
Good to know. I mean, good question. Who knows? Okay. Anyway, the guy behind you reaches up, and he actually grabs your right arm, and it kind of catches it up as you're stumbling, and then he goes under your arm, actually around your chest and to your other side, and he's squeezing you, and you take 4 points of damage, of which 1 is real.
So I take 1 point of damage.
Now you take 4 points of damage, of which 1 is real. So the non-real damage will heal back if you rest, like 1 point per minute.
So does that go in my
How many hit
wounds
points?
area?
Yes, put it in your wounds area, a 4-point wound with 1 in parentheses. If you go to 0, you go unconscious.
-4. 1 in parentheses. What would they do to me once I go unconscious? Kill me?
Again, I don't know. Are you asking them? Are you this? So you're musing in your head, like, what would they do to me if I go unconscious? I don't want to go unconscious because I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
That's how you role play. Stay in character.
I am. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. So in character, Selena is wondering that, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, you have to help us to know that you're staying in character. Okay. Anyway, so he has grabbed you, and then he kind of spins you around toward the other guy, who by now has realized that the first friend is down. Now, your arms and legs are not pinned. He has you around your chest, and he's squeezing you, and he probably can continue to squeeze you and hurt you, but you can still use your arms and legs because they're not pinned. But the other guy doesn't try to grapple you. He tries to punch you. And he's getting a slight...
What if I, like, sweep the guy's legs he's holding me and jump out of the way?
I think you'll both fall.
You can try to do any of that on your next exchange. Right now, they're still doing their first exchange. Okay? So this guy is trying to punch you. Okay.
And then I just kick his
All right,
head
which he
in.
does. And you take 5 points of damage, of which 1 is real.
So now it's -5.
So you put another 5, and then put a 1 in parentheses. What are your total hit points normally?
15.
Oh, okay. So in other words, this is starting to get ugly.
It is 15 right now.
That's what you have left.
No, that's my actual hit points, and I was at full hit points.
Right, and so you're now taking 9, which means you have 6 left.
I can't electrify.
Okay.
I have a feeling if I get into this fight, someone might die.
Okay. And then, right, anyway, so that was a glancing blow. It basically glanced off the side of your head. It wasn't really a solid shot. Although it did kind of ring your bell, and you saw lights for a second. And then he's swinging again. Okay. And you take
about to use my
3 points of damage.
I'm about to use my electric shear to bounce him off me.
You could try to do that, but again, you would be using magic against them if you do that. Remember, does your stone drift allow you to take somebody with you? I think it does.
Yeah.
So that would be an option, is you could grab onto the guy that's holding you and take him with you, or the guy that's punching you and take him with you and go in the stone drift, and then when you pop up, obviously he'd be surprised and you could hit him. But you don't know what's going to happen in the floor. There's a little bit of risk with that. Anyway, so you took 3 points of damage, and then none of which was real. And then he's off balance, and that ends his determination, or his exchange. So now it's your turn.
I put -3 and
Yeah.
0 in parentheses.
Good. Okay. So you only have, what, like 3 left? And the guy's holding you from behind, and he's squeezing you, which means if you don't get him off of you, he'll squeeze you, and you'll probably pass out. So you need to get him off
I'm
you.
trying to take him in the stone drift. If it bounces me out, then he'll have to come off me anyway.
Yeah, there is a small possibility it could be dangerous because you're trying to go in a non-natural source, like it could kill you or him. So you are taking somewhat of a risk. Also, you could just like elbow him kick him. Your hands are completely free. You could try to flip him into the other guy, something like that.
Fine, but if it doesn't work, I'm doing stone drift.
Well, and that's true because it's instantaneous. After this, no, because they both get an exchange yet, and you did your spell in missile fire. So if you don't do it now, you won't. No, you can't even do it now because you did your spell in missile fire. So the first chance you'd have to do stone drift will be in missile fire of next round. So the only thing you can do is fight with them right now.
Fine, I'm elbowing.
Okay, so roll percentile dice and roll a high number.
I was sluggish dice, so if I don't roll a high number. 79.
Ooh, that's good. Okay. All right. So you do, like, slam your elbow backwards, and you're a little shorter than he is, so you hit him, like, in the groin, kind of just below the belt. And he immediately releases the hold, and you do 8 plus your strength bonus, so it's 8, 2 of which is real. Okay? And he goes backwards, and his butt sticking out, and his butt hits the table. And then he falls forward on his face, and he's sort of in a bump on the ground. So his head's on the ground, and his feet and like his knees are on the ground. And then he just falls over, and he's obviously unconscious. Just leaves you with the one guy you're facing. He doesn't know yet that the other guy is going to be out of the mix, and so he is going to take a swing. But you are no longer held, so that takes away his bonus that he had with melee. Okay. And so, okay, so it is a glancing blow. So it does 2 points of damage, 1 of which is real. So mark down 2 points of damage, 1 of which is real. And what does that leave you with? One point?
But when can I regain some of my stuff?
You just need to rest. So non-real damage heals 1 point per minute when you're resting. So it'll come back really fast, but it doesn't come back while you're fighting. Also realize that the guy that's on the ground over there, if he's not pretty deeply unconscious, he's laying on the ground. In a few minutes, he might get up. Okay. But anyway,
Can I just try to run out?
You could, but anyway, so he's off balance, which then brings you to the end of the round, because that was his second exchange. Okay, so we're going to a new round. 2 of the guys are unconscious. He's still standing in front of you.
Missile fire.
And we're going to go to missile fire, but first you got to roll initiative.
Oh, 2. Wait.
Okay. Interested in giving financially to Low Moon and support the campaign? Text LMGIVE, that's LMGIVE, to 419-419-0095. So at the very end of the round, before we go to missile fire, after he swung at you the last time and hit you, which wasn't a very good blow, he realizes that both of his friends are down, and he throws his hands up like he's saying he's not going to fight anymore, and he's looking like he's going to turn around to run. He hasn't yet, because it's not a new round yet, but he looks like he's going to run. Okay? And then we're in...
Is he in front of my staff?
No. So the way you're facing now, your staff is back behind you on the floor. So you got one guy down unconscious, slightly back to your right. Got 5 feet behind you have another guy down unconscious, and then about 15 feet behind him is your staff. Okay? So we're going to missile fire first. He doesn't have any missile fire. So do you want to do something missile fire or not?
No.
You could throw a pot, like grab a pot and throw it.
I don't think he wants to fight.
But that could, it doesn't look like he wants to fight anymore. So you're going to hold and see if he runs? Okay. So we got a melee initiative.
Not, I'm grabbing my staff.
Okay, so we're melee initiative. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, he has 4. In 4, he turns and runs. So he's running straight for the door out of the room.
Bye.
Okay. And then 3. What was your initial? 2?
Yeah, 2.
Okay, so in 2, what do you do? He's obviously running away. You're not in any danger.
Grab my staff and run out also.
Okay, so to be clear though, the second guy that you put down, the guy that, not the guy who slammed his head on the table, but the other guy,
Yeah.
that you just elbowed him is all you really did, and then he hit his butt on the table and his head on the floor. That guy is groaning and he's starting to push himself up, like he's getting up.
I'm grabbing my staff.
Okay. So you could easily kick him or punch him just to keep him down while you get your staff, then you wouldn't have to worry about him getting back up.
Yes.
And you're not a real merciful person. You know what I mean? So
I'm something good.
you're neutral good, but you're tending toward neutral because that's how you do it. So, and your elemental background. All right. So anyway, actually, if you're neutral good, you probably shouldn't kick him.
I do know.
Okay. So all right. So roll percentile dice. You can pull your punch to make sure you don't like.
55.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a solid strike. And you kick him in the chest, and he rolls over, and he clenches his chest, and he passes back out. Okay? And then you run and grab your staff, and then you leave the room. Right? Okay. All right. And then you make it out into the hallway. You don't see that guy, and you just calmly walk away. Because you know you're not supposed to be fighting, even though they started it. So...
But I'm going to need heal too.
A little. Right? So anyway...
I took 3 real points of damage.
Yeah. So you walk back to your room, and within 15 minutes of being in your room, all your non-real damage is gone. So you only have the 3 real points of damage. Okay? When you got back in your room, did you shut your door or leave it open?
Shut.
Okay. Right? So the light is on because you're tending to your wounds, I would assume. Okay? Dan returns after recreation. I should turn this off too.
Recreation? I'm going to turn this into
After the work period that you did during recreation.
Yeah.
Stick with me, kid. Okay. You see that the light is on in her room. There you can see the crack of the light under the door and on the right at the door jamb a little bit. So obviously she is already back. You're tired, and you have to be up early, but you haven't talked to her since the two of you. In fact,
I have a minor heal if I need to use it.
did that meeting where you found out possibly actually took place after dinner, right? So you guys haven't even told each other about your promotions yet. Or did you tell each other?
No, because we were there with each other.
We were standing next to each other when they offered it.
No.
Yeah.
We were standing next to each other when he came and got you and took you up to the... Hold on, please. Hang out for a minute. All right. Anyway, unless your parents are rushing you off.
No, we left.
They left you? Okay. There you go. Anyway, so they came and got you, but they took you to the falconry to make you the offer. So he wasn't there. So basically at this point, he doesn't know what you've been offered, is the point. And
Knock on the door.
Same thing for you. Okay. So, all right, so you knock on the door. Knock on your door.
Is it locked?
It doesn't lock.
Come in.
Okay, she says, okay. You see that she is she's sitting on the edge of the bed and she's cleaning up a scrape on her knee, and you can see that she's got a dark area on her face like she got punched.
Are you okay? Or, in other words, what happened?
Also, remember, you do have a healing spell in memory.
I know. Let's just say no. I got called to do the dishes for my work job after my work at the falconry, and it's just like people are jealous of me. Because
of what?
I was attacked.
Of what?
Of me supposedly stealing the job to be the head page of the falconry.
You're becoming a falconry page?
Head page.
Okay.
They call it senior.
Senior page?
Yeah.
But I'm not old.
Senior means has the most experience.
Yeah.
It means you'll be able to order the other pages
So
around.
when I went to grab my staff, somebody showed up in front of, like between me and the staff, and the two guys showed up behind me. So we kind of got into that midnight fight,
Oh.
something like that.
Were you in the kitchen by yourself?
Yeah. I don't get my recreation time, and everybody else does. So yeah.
Well, that's gonna change tomorrow.
Gladly.
I am gonna become a squire. Or training to become a squire.
That's cool. At least our punishment is over. It's kind of like we got a reward for our punishment.
Besides the fact that we still have to work like a normal pig.
Well, only today, you know. That ends tomorrow.
We still have to. I still have to report for stuff at the afternoon.
I don't. All 3 shifts I'll be working at the park.
I'll come visit you if I get picked to work at the falconry.
Oh, that'd be funny. He gets assigned to the falconry and comes, and you can be in charge of him.
Like, nope, you can go pick up the food.
Yeah, that's what the pages always get stuck doing, is picking up the poop. It's the first thing they have to do every time they come.
If I become a squire, I don't have to be picked.
That's true.
I can just walk in there.
Squires don't work in the falconry. At least
Because I can just walk in there.
unless their knight happens to have a falcon that he owns, then they do. So, which does happen sometimes.
I'll just walk in there at some time.
Yeah,
Anyway,
go pick up
do
the
you
food.
want to try to use your healing spell to see if you can heal your face and stuff before your eyes swell shut?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you have a minor heal, correct?
Yeah.
A minor heal is D6. If you
I only
roll
need to get 3 hit points.
3 or more, you will be at full hit points, and after a good night's sleep, it will be almost as if it never happened. There will still be a little soreness, but so roll a D6, and you need to roll 3 or more. Also, that gives you opportunity to know what your minimum is, which your current minimum is 2. So you cannot roll less than 2 on your dice. So roll D6, roll 3 or more, and be fully healed.
What was that?
It's an owl.
2.
2. Okay, so you roll 2. So you still have 1 point of damage, which will heal overnight while you sleep. But as you go to bed, you do feel a little sad because your face hurts. Okay?
Why does that make me sad?
Because your face hurts. Nobody likes to have their face hurt.
No, it makes me more mad.
You remember one of your uncles back home that you met at your cousin's house and he came to visit, saying something about, so you have somebody who is your enemy? Very good. That means you stood for something.
Hey, I made.
When did he say that?
When you were younger.
I have a lot of
back
enemies.
in the Elven Kingdom at one of your cousins' meetings.
I have a lot of enemies. Well,
What was the enemy?
Kids in the neighborhood disagreeing with you and your cousins. That happened all the time.
I met an enemy out of.
This is not your first scrape. It's just probably the first one you've ever done well at. Because you're not real physical. You don't have a lot of body weight or muscle.
Yeah.
All 3 of them were stronger than you and weighed 40 pounds more than you, and
Except
you took
for I
all
have
3 of them down.
experiment.
You defeated all of them.
Experience.
2 of them you took
Experience
down and 1 of
with
them.
fighting.
All right. Unfortunately, this is going to end our session.
Good night.
When we meet again,
I kind of want to.
you will be straight to Squire training in the morning. You will be healed because so you can put yourself at full hit points. There's
I
nothing
might
to happen
report
overnight
what
while you're sleeping.
happened.
And you're at full hit points, correct? Yes. Okay. So you'll both be at full hit points.
I'm missing 2 still.
Oh, okay. So you will be fully healed in the morning when you wake up.
Yeah, I was missing 2 still.
Anyway, so and
So I was
then
missing 2.
you will get a good idea as far as how long it will take you to actually train to be
But I am.
Squire and Senior Page.
How long?
I'm gonna go ask him.
Find out in the morning.
I might report to him what happened in the kitchen.
Wait, so I'm skipping school?
Stay tuned for more Lomunian adventures.